Hello, my name is Brian Sequeira. I am a freshman at Liberty High School in Edge Micro School, and I'm currently studying South American infrastructure problems.
Hello, my name is Alyssa Sanders. I'm a freshman at Liberty High School. I'm in the Edge Microschooling, and I am studying Flint Water.
I'll go first. So, Alyssa, before I address anything, do you have any questions about the South American infrastructure crisis?
I actually do. So for the people that really don't know what infrastructure is, can you just give a quick definition of what infrastructure means?
Well, actually, I'll go and get you a dictionary definition. I'll do that right now. There it is. The basic physical and organizational structures and facilities needed for the operation of a society or enterprises. Examples of these are buildings, roads, or power supplies, just basically things that help with transportation.
Okay, good. Okay, so I have another question for you. Over your research, can you give me a quick summary of your research?
So my research was about South American infrastructure, like I've said. In South America, not everybody can really get access to clean water just because, they don't have it. They have to get it from a lake or just any water resource they have because the government gives out water, but it's in gasoline tanks since South America profits off of oil trade. That makes it way more convenient to be in gasoline tanks. And there are some really negative effects that happen because of that.
Okay, going off of what you said, I have a question just to add on to that. So are you basically saying that there's water shortages in South America?
Yeah, there's just not a good access to clean water.
Okay, thank you. Another question is, why did you decide that you wanted to do your research on South America infrastructure?
Well, I've been in Spanish class for a while now, and we've actually brought up stuff about South American infrastructure, and I became interested with the topic, so I started doing research. So I really haven't been currently studying it. I've been studying it for a while now.
Okay. So it's probably good that you've been studying for a while because you kind of already knew what information you were going to have coming into the water project. Mm-hmm. Okay, the next question. How has South American infrastructure affected people's health problems?
So I'm glad that you got into that question. I kind of started on that 2 questions ago. So since the South American infrastructure has water traveling through gasoline tanks, gasoline has been getting into the water, and so has a bit of lead because that's what's in the gasoline tanks. According to an EPA article, some side effects of drinking lead are abdominal pain, reproductive problems in both men and women, and insomnia and hypertension.
Okay, so you're doing infrastructure in South America, and I'm doing Flint Water or lead pipes. So we're doing a podcast together, So how would those tie in to each other, and how are they relevant to each other?
Good question. So they both tie into each other. If I'm not wrong, the Flint water crisis started when the mayor of Flint, Michigan decided to not get their water from the Detroit water and clean sanitation place. And then they changed to the Flint River, right?
Yes.
So they've been getting really bad water. That's been changing because they had to go through different pipes, stuff like that. That all ties into infrastructure because in my dictionary definition, example was with pipes. So I've been answering questions about South American infrastructure, but this is a group project about Flint Water, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask you a few questions about Flint Water. Is that okay?
Yes.
So what are you focusing on in the project?
My focus on the project is to let lead pipes get out more, to know there's still lead pipes going on in the road, and there's still problems with it because it can damage people's health and people can get sick by it, and the sickness can last a lifetime. So my focus on this project is just to get the word out that there's still lead problems going around in the United States.
No, actually I'm kind of confused on that because I've been doing a bit of research on Flint Water as well, and I thought it was from the river just being polluted. they used to have a booming auto industry. I learned that on a case study for Socratics and Edge. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, main misconception is that people think that the lead is like in the river or whatever, but it's really like in the lead pipe. So when people drink the water, you can like get sick, and people only think of that it's just in the river because they only glance at the research and they don't look actually through it and they don't read it all the way.
So I know we touched base on this with one of my questions, but you've been studying lead, hence lead pipes, more than I have. So can you tell me some symptoms that you can get from drinking lead because it's been in the lead pipes?
Yes, I can. And so I was doing research on how lead can get into water in this NRDC website, and it basically says that the health problems of lead poisoning with children could be vomiting, weight loss, and seizures. And for adults, it could be high blood pressure, joint and muscle pain, and difficult with memory or concentration.
So Alyssa, let's stop beating around the bush. So what are you mainly trying to get at with Flint Water? We've been talking about the effects of lead, what's been happening, but how do you think we could fix it, or anybody in general?
So good question that you asked that, because actually I have an organization pulled up, and it's called MichiganCleanWater.org, and it is a nonprofit organization that was launched in February of 2018, and the organization helps amplify the groundswells of public support for clean water issues.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. So basically, MichiganCleanWater.org collects money from donations that fund the replacement of lead pipes because lead pipes are dangerous and they leak lead into the water.
Yes, in fact they do, and in the older houses is like normally where the lead pipes are, because like back then they didn't have like new pipes to replace the lead pipes. So if like the water sits too long in your lead pipes, then the water can transfer down into your tap water and your drinking water, and then you can get lead poisoning from there.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we talked a little bit my solution, which is the MichiganCleanWater.org, and I was wondering, what is your solution about the South American infrastructure?
So I did find a organization as well, just like you did. It's called charitywater.org. It takes the money that you donate and uses it to fund clean water sanitation projects in South America.
So we kind of touched base on everything that we need to know about Flint Water, Michigan, and South American infrastructure, and about the problems that happen, how it has affected people's health, and like the solutions we want to do to help the problems. So there's really not much for us to say, so it is Alyssa Sanders
And Brian Sequeira
signing out.
Hello, Mr. Weiss. I'm here to interview you about Central South American infrastructure problems. Do you have some questions that you'd like to answer for me?
Sure, I'd be more than happy.
So where did you live?
I live in Guatemala, Central America, and I was living in the city. It's the capital of Guatemala. I was living in there.
How was life like in Guatemala?
It was good, depending on your economic status. If you are in the unprivileged area, then it's not as good, because you do not have all the needs for a good living in Guatemala.
Was the water quality good there?
It was on occasions, that was about 30 years ago. We used to have good quality water, but now it's not. You cannot drink the water in Guatemala that comes out of the faucet, because of the way they clean the water is not good. You're supposed to either buy water from the companies they sell water, or you're supposed to boil the water. so you don't get sick.
Oh, was water available to all the population there?
No, it's not. It is not available because some small towns they don't have the pipes to get the water to their houses. So the water, they need to walk to a main faucet, and usually those the water are from wells. So they don't have the proper treatment to be safe. But this is not available to everybody. And also, you do have the water available to, if you have the pipes and you have to pay, of course, the bill, you have the water available to you for a certain time. For example, my family will have it for 2 hours at a time, a day. That's it.
Interesting. What was the major obstacle of getting drinkable water to all the population?
The type of houses they are living at. Some of the houses are made out of boxes. Some of the houses are made out of not even like have a structure of houses. These people live in a very poor conditions, and they live almost on the end of the city. So they not even have a bathroom that they can go in there. That is the problem, is that they should have a zoning for these small places, but it's very expensive, and the government has not invest the money needed for the poor people of Guatemala.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's really sad. I could never imagine living like that. I mean, I live in a house with heating and air conditioning.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and these people do not have to wash your hands. Just think about that. They have to decide, either you cook, you wash your hands, or you brush your teeth. So these are the level. The poverty level is really, really bad, and it's sad, like you said.
Mm-hmm. Is the government doing anything to help?
The government said it is doing something to help, but it's not. Sadly, it is the corruption is still a big problem in Guatemala, and it is something that they will do things that benefit them, not the population. And because of this comes hand to hand with education, poor people have not the chance to get educated because they have to work at an early age, so they really don't know their rights. Mm-hmm. So the government can say they are doing something, but it's not enough, because people still have to walk long distance to get waters from rivers, to get water from a general faucet or for a well. So, in my opinion, the government is not doing enough to help their citizens of Guatemala.
And actually, I have done a bit of research. Water is traveled through pipes, but the pipes are leaky, and about 90% of water is lost.
It is true, because they are still using the old metal pipes. The one that we have here, the plastic ones, the new developments have them, but again, they don't go towards the mountains where these people live as well, or it is something that they don't have enough money to replace them. And now that you mentioned that, also the sewer system is not good. So when it rains, it gets flooded. So it contaminates the water as well.
And the sewer water leaks out of the rain pipes.
So it is a problem that they really need to invest in the country, because the people who have the money, they are not suffering, because they do have money to buy the tanks. They put it on top of their houses. So when the water is available to them, those tanks are full, so they have water all day. But the poor people who live paycheck to paycheck don't have that option.
So I'm just assuming when it rains, nobody can really go outside.
They can, but it is like a torrential, because we are near the ocean. So when they're really like the hurricanes are coming towards Florida or Mexico, then it is very dangerous because they live in the mountains. So that way they can go out, but they need to be very careful because it will be flooding all over the place.
Well, thank you for speaking with me. That's all the questions I have.
You're welcome, and I am so proud of you for you're interested in a problem that it is a global problem.
Thank you.
You're welcome.